Everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Karina and welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to bring you guys the update number 2 for This Is Pantasy. Now, of course, more details are in the intro video for this. Of course, this is a project panel that focuses on a whole bunch of fun fantasy themed prompts. I have some stuff to finish. I've got a lot of usage stuff within this project, all of course in the wonderful realm of makeup. And we've got some exciting things to talk about in today's update. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. So starting off with an item that has been here since the beginning, and of course that is my eyeshadow from Covergirl. This is in the shade Champagne, and this is in for the prompt of the Cyclops, which is of course a single shadow, right? Symbolizing the single eye of the Cyclops. Now, again, this is going to be a very long haul product. I do not expect to finish it within this project or within this year. So I'm not even tracking uses with it. I just want to progress on this item. And of course, this is the color I use for highlighting here. And of course, in the inner corner, I use it just about every day. It still got use when I took it down to the Caribbean. And that is where we are now. So I tend to focus on it this way. So I've been focusing my brush on these ends here. And that's what I'll use to do under the brow. And then you'll see I'm kind of doing two things. I'm working down the pan this way. But I'm also working, you can see the little dip going down there. So I am working on making that a little bit more narrow. So we'll see some progress faster as we continue moving this way across the pan. I do basically use this item every day. So again, slow progress, but steady progress. And I still am pleased to see the difference. Like I can still see a difference between last month and this month, again, with my strategies of how I'm working on it currently. So we're going to keep on going with the Cyclops. Item number 2, of course, was my Tom Ford little mini lipstick here. It is for the Vampire, which is a blood red product. And of course, this is a red lipstick, so it fits that goal perfectly. I do want to finish this lipstick, and we're making progress. We're getting there, slowly. I'm not the best at drawing the lines. Apologies. You'll see, of course, where we were last time. And that is all we have left. So when I scroll it, so we just see there, right, that's it. I did use it a total of 14 times last month, so I surpassed my goal of 10 uses on it. And I think part of the reason why the progress is slow is we're getting more of an extreme angle on there, right? Because I don't want to just work it down this way, because you want that nice curve there of that line. So I think that's why it's not showing as much progress. So I've used it 14 times last month, bringing me to a total of 20 uses in the project. So I used it significantly more, but the progress, at least according to my theory with the slant, isn't currently showing it. So we still have probably several months left on this particular item there. We'll get there when we get there, but we'll just keep going along in the meantime on this lipstick for the prompt, the Vampire. The next item, of course, has also been in here since the beginning, and that is my Ditto Venus palette. It is in for the prompt of the Werewolf, which is a celestial themed item. Again, as I mentioned previously, I did put this in before I planned to do my eyeshadow usage project, which meant I had the goal of 25 uses on this palette. Last month I did say I wanted to use it 5 times because I had 10 uses left. I didn't quite get there. I didn't quite get there just based on the scheduling and when I'm getting my pan nose eyeshadows updated and scheduled. So, we're getting there. I only used this palette 3 times last month. That brings me a total of 18 uses in the project, which means I have 7 left to hit my goal. So that's going to be a priority for next month. Of course, just a little reminder, this is what the palette looks like. It is a beautiful kind of everyday kind of palette. I didn't plan my makeup out very well today, so I'm not wearing any of these products except for the Cyclops eyeshadow, but I do really enjoy this palette still. Still working some dips, no pan yet on anything. Will we hit pan on anything? I really doubt it, with just 7 uses left, but that is okay. We are getting there, and that's the progress on this palette. That brings me to an item that I rolled in last update, which of course is my butter bronzer. So Physicians Formula butter bronzer in the shade Bronzer. creative. This was for the prompt for the dragon. So a big product. And of course, Physicians Formula packaging is a little bit bigger and bulkier. There is 11 grams of product in here, which I've only used up one bronzer previously. It was much smaller than this one. This is in for a usage goal. So I do want to use it 50 times over the course of the project, and thus far I have used it for a total of 23 times in the project. That leaves me 27 more uses to meet my goal, and of course this is where we are at now. So we are making good progress, right? There is visual difference from last time. We're really, especially on this side, wearing that pattern down a little bit more. I do try to get everything with my big fluffy brush, which I use for the perimeters. And then of course, when I'm narrowing in on the cheek here, I'm trying to pull from the top to wear that down a little bit more evenly. It doesn't really look like I'm doing a good job with even wearing down because the lines are much more prominent over here, but they're getting flatter. So potentially on this side, we might have those lines gone with another 27 uses. We'll find out. But I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the progress here, and we'll just keep on going with it. I love that smell. I enjoy this bronzer. I'm looking forward to playing with it even more. And then the last item I rolled in, also at the last update, was for the Chimera. And of course, big whole story last time about the Chimera and its prompt for a Franken product. I didn't have anything that is a Franken within my collection, so I opted for the more of the description, right? The fire-breathing creature. So big reach, big story. Check out the last update if you hadn't seen that already. But that brought me to the Elizabeth Arden blush in Sunbeam. So of course, you see where we were previously. It's going to look pretty darn similar to where we're at now. Again, I had a smaller goal on this one. I did want to use it just 15 times to roll out. I did surpass that slightly with a goal, or with actual of 16 uses on it. So pretty good there. And I do see a little bit of wear on this wall here. There's a little bit more of that silver showing. Will you really see it on the camera? Maybe not. I can see it though. It is rather dusty, and I find that a lot of this product sits in my brush. So I feel like it has a hard time transferring to the cheek. But I did enjoy playing with it. It's a pretty nice blush. But now we get to roll that guy out. So we finished one goal so far for this particular month, which was my blush, which means we get to roll in a new item. Always so exciting. These prompts are a lot of fun. As you guys are seeing, the one that I ended up rolling in was for the Witch or the Wizard. And for the Witch or the Wizard, the prompt is a magical themed item or something magical, looks magical, magical the name, whatever. And last month, if you caught my BoxyCharm unboxings, I received this item in it, and I knew I wanted to roll it into Pantasy based on the packaging alone, and this prompt is pretty good for it. This is the Ace Beaute. This is their Pout Perfect Liquid Lipstick. I have the shade Manifest. Obviously, this packaging here, very beautiful on the outside, a lot of detail, and I give some kind of fantasy vibes to it, but that, of course. I have not used this item at all. We're rolling it in for the first time in this project. And the reason why I think it does fit the Witch Wizard, or that magical item, two main ways my brain goes. Option number one, my husband said this when I unboxed it for the first time, it looks like a phylactery. So if you're into dark magic, right, if you are trying to become a lich, you need something to store your soul, and this might be something that is, you know, it has that nice design to store your soul in. So, phylactery. If you don't want to go the phylactery route, right, a nice vial that you have some kind of very fancy, expensive magic potion in it. Yeah, both of those are fitting the magical theme, so we're going to bring this one in. Now, of course, I do have a lip service project pan, which is entirely focused on lip products, and I already have another lip product in here, which is going to be here for a while. We're going to start off with a goal of 20 uses on this guy to roll it out. So probably a month or two, probably 2 months, hopefully not much longer than that. 3 if it has to be, but that's going to be the goal. And this is the item in for our witch or our wizard. All right, and normally that would be where I would end the update. But, if you guys couldn't tell from the last wheel spin with rolling in the witch or wizard, I noticed after I had done that, that another prompt was grayed out, which means at some point I must have accidentally spun something on the app, and that of course was for the Basilisk. I'm usually pretty good at trying not to go into that app because I don't want to risk accidentally spinning something without you guys being able to see it. And what I think happened, I tend to fiddle with my phone. So probably during the course of me fiddling with my phone at one point, I accidentally opened the app, accidentally hit the spin, and didn't realize that I had done that. So we're just going to roll in the Basilisk now. And silver lining, right, that's kind of getting me thinking maybe I will want to, in future months, roll in more items. Because I do want to make my way through more of the prompts. I think the prompts are great. They're a ton of fun. Right, Allie did a great job in creating them. So you know what? Maybe this is a good thing, right? Make this project a little bit bigger as well. Again, it's going to probably be a lot of usage goals in there. But still, it will allow me to play with more of my makeup collection, which is always a good thing. So, long story long, the Basilisk. So the Basilisk, of course, very familiar from things like Harry Potter, right? Magical beast, king of the serpents. And the prompt for this is a dark matte shadow. So, obviously, I still have an eyeshadow palette in this project. I have 3 palettes that I have in my eyeshadow project. But again, based on that prompt, it has to be another eyeshadow, right? I have this one in here too. So we're going to go with a dark matte shadow, and starting, as I mentioned previously, to be consistent with my eyeshadow usage project, I'm going to be rolling in something for 10 uses. So the shadow that I am rolling in, I'm actually pretty excited about it. I was wanting to play with this palette, and now I get the chance to, thanks to the Basilisk. And that, of course, is my Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette. I got this in BoxyCharm last February as my choice item. If you haven't seen this palette before, it's so pretty. Very spring, so the timing works out quite well for it. So I'm very excited to play with this. Although I do need to do a little bit of work before I film my update for my eyeshadow, so it's going to wait a couple days at least. And obviously, if you couldn't tell just by looking at it, the dark matte shadow that we're going to be playing with is this one way down here. So I'll throw a picture up so you can see it a little bit better. That is in the color Vortex. And based on that shadow, right, again, that's the how to darken the outer corner, which means I get so much versatility with this palette. So I'm very excited, right? I get to play with it, and we're going to have some fun. Yes, that does mean I technically have 3 eyeshadows in this project. Well, 1 single, and of course, the 2 palettes. But hopefully this will roll out next month, so then I'll just have back to 1 palette to be working on once again. All right, so let's talk about the goals that I want to do for this project. I have 3 main goals, and of course, I want progress on everything. That is always a constant goal, so I don't technically need to say it every single time, but just to make sure we're all on the same page. Goal number 1 is usage. So again, this lipstick, I want to get it out, so at least I can get a lip product done. And I can focus more of my lip products in lip service. So again, at least another 10 uses on this guy. Should be doable. I do want to have this palette rolled out for next time. It has been in here since the beginning with a user's goal. I only have 7 uses left that I need to do. So that's a solid week of wear within the course of the next month. And again, I do really enjoy this palette. So it's not going to be hard to do. It's just I'm being pulled in so many directions with all of the eyeshadows. But this is a priority. Get it down to 7 uses. I also want to finish the prompt for my dragon as well. As I mentioned, I only have 27 uses left to meet my goal, which of course, I'm filming this a little bit before the 11th, so I do have a little bit more than a month to get my 30 uses on it. And so you know what? Shouldn't be a problem. Should be doable. as long as I don't get distracted by anything else. That's always going to be the key question, but this is going to be priority number 3. If I am able to meet those goals, that means I'm going to have these 2 items rolling out next time, which means I can bring another 2 items in, which will be very, very exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And so then after that, in future months, I might bring in some additional prompts as well if I'm not rolling anything in. Again, just kind of work through these prompts, so especially kind of turn that accidental wheel spin into something a little bit more inspiring and a little bit more motivating. But that is going to, of course, wrap up today's update. So thank you so much for spending some of your day with me, getting updated on my progress. Make sure you let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of my progress, the new roll-ins that I've got? Right, I am very excited to play with these. And of course, the caveat with any item I've never played with before, if I end up hating it, right, it'll go into a declutter, but in the case of this particular product, it's just so pretty. So a declutter will mean to just put it on display because the packaging. Oh, great. So of course, we'll see what happens with this one. I'm sure it should be fine. I haven't tried an Ace Beaute liquid lipstick before, but I do enjoy their eyeshadows, so I get to play with more of the brand. Anyway, rambling is going on way too long. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. Subscribe so that you're able to catch my next update, which will go live for you guys April 11th. We are progressing through this year. And of course, if you enjoy Project Pan content, I have so many others that I do. I refer to them, a couple of them at least, in the video today. So if you want to see progress on other things that I'm doing as well, make sure you subscribe so it's easier for you guys to find those videos. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys in my next video very soon. Have a wonderful day.